McCormick. My speech is going to be a little bit longer than Jamie's. So I hope your drinks are cool. I'm Maggie's matron of honor. First of all, I'd like to thank Maggie's parents for this beautiful, one-of-a-kind celebration. But I'm already looking forward to the seconds. 15 years ago, Maggie found a casting call in the local newspaper. Is it too early to start crying? She found a casting call in the local newspaper calling for Eastern European-looking girls to star in a big Hollywood movie entitled The Polish Wedding. We took 3 forms of public transportation to get downtown to the audition since we were convinced, despite any acting experience whatsoever, that we were shoo-ins for the starring role. Unfortunately, to our great surprise, Claire Danes got the part. And our dreams for stardom were temporarily crushed. Little did I know back then that our friendship would be filled with the type of stories that movies are made of. And it would culminate in our own Polish weddings years later. Today's event is sure to be much more memorable than the Claire Danes original that went straight to DVD. Growing up down the street from Maggie, by junior high, a week didn't go by without one of us sneaking out in the middle of the night to go to the others for a late-night impromptu dance party or gossip fest. When we got caught, which was nearly every time, our respective parents would punish us both. Although Maggie's mom's punishments were never much worse than feeding me a 5-course meal before driving me home. By the time we reached high school, we parted ways, and as my family moved and I changed schools. Rather than growing apart, we grew closer, as we found this new situation to work to our great advantage. We set each other up with dates for one another's school formals, doubled our wardrobe by sharing clothes, and we even co-hosted Maggie's school radio show for a semester before the school administration caught on that I wasn't a student there. And on holidays that one of our schools recognized and the other didn't, we called each other out of school, pretending to be family members with dire emergencies. Adam, I'm not sure if you know this, but I always claimed to be your wife, Aunt Martinique.
It's true. I did not know about it.
Suffice to say, I know Maggie pretty well. Ben, I know you know her pretty well too, but I wanted to give you a little more insight into this lovely bride. Although there are many characteristics that one can highlight about Maggie, I've chosen 4 to talk about today. Number 1, drama. Although Maggie, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Although Maggie has always been a good girl with only the best intentions at heart, drama has a way of finding her in nearly every situation. Like the time we were innocently passing through a security line at the Brussels train station. And upon examinations of Maggie's bags, we were separated and escorted to separate holding cells. We couldn't believe we were getting detained and questioned, and were in shock when the authorities pulled out a blood-red soaked knife out of Maggie's bag. Turned out it was just ketchup. Or like the time we took the metro in Budapest, Hungary, totally unaware that one needed a ticket to get on the metro. As we were discussing how cool Budapest was, that you didn't need tickets to get on public transportation, a conductor asked us for our tickets. So we did what any logical person in another country where they can't speak the language would do. We ran. We escaped to the next station and found ourselves being chased by a handful of cops across town. Fortunately, we escaped by jumping on a trolley as the doors were closing in on us, again, without a ticket. Number 2, about Maggie, dreaming big. Maggie is always eager to try new things and dream big, regardless of how unattainable it might seem to the rest of us. Despite many obstacles, she usually succeeds in achieving her greatest goals. But sometimes she comes up a little short. For instance, last weekend, Maggie enrolled in a 2-day weekend intensive Spanish language course, hoping to become fluent in Spanish in just 48 hours. Judging from the Buenas noches, Kasia, she gave to me this morning at 9 a.m., I'm pretty sure that one didn't work out the way she planned. But yet, on the other hand, here we all are, in one of the most beautiful settings on earth, celebrating Maggie and Ben's marriage. This has been a dream of Maggie's since the day she met Ben, and she did make it all happen. It was also Maggie who suggested we run a marathon together this year. Or rather, claimed to as part of my maid of honor duties. At the time this idea was born, Maggie and I can only muster up enough energy to run a few miles a week, making this goal seem totally unrealistic. However, over the last year, amidst wedding planning, adopting a dog, and moving apartments, Maggie's steadfast commitment to this goal never wavered as she woke up regularly on Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. to train. And despite the many miles that separated us across the country, she always made it a point in calling me too, making sure I was getting up and doing the same. Maggie finished the marathon in an impressive time, exceeding her goals. And I found a way to finish as well, albeit a couple of hours behind Maggie. However, I never would have tried had it not been for her support and her belief that we could do this. Number 3, adaptable. Not only does it seem as though Maggie gets along with everyone she meets, upon meeting others, she is so accepting of their differences and what makes them unique that she instantly makes them feel comfortable. This is partly because she has an uncanny ability to put herself in other people's shoes. Literally, she will take your shoes. Watch out. When Maggie bought her ticket to visit me in Africa when I was serving in the Peace Corps, I was worried she would get a bad case of culture shock and get on the first plane home. Instead, within 24 hours of landing, she was already wearing a custom African outfit, concocted a personal love potion in the market with a medicine man, and purchased a hand-carved bongo drum like the ones you heard earlier. By the time we made it down to my small village days later, she looked like a blonde female reincarnation of Bob Marley, down to the dreads she had weaved in her hair earlier that week. After taking one look at her, the village chief could think of no better way to welcome this long-lost cousin of his than to baptize her into the clan and give her an African name. They still ask about their dear Maimuda to this day. It's not just foreign exotic lands she does well in. When she came to visit me in Texas, me and my husband in Texas last year, she wasted no time at all. Before she was wearing brand new cowboy boots, a pink cowgirl hat, and sporting the latest fashion in Western flannel. She was a legit cowgirl. By the end of the weekend, even Texans were asking her where the nearest barbecue place was. Number 4, loyal. As all of the friends and family in here can attest to, Maggie's loyalty is steadfast. And I have a bunch of scribbles, so you just take 1 second while I figure where I'm going. She will vouch for you, fight for you, and will never give up on you. She has been there for me at every single point in my life. And Ben, I know that she'll be there for yours too. She also attracts the same type of people in her life. And as the amazing group of people who gathered here today speaks volumes to the type of person she and Ben are. I can't actually remember ever meeting Maggie. It seems as though I've known her my whole life. Although I've only known Ben for about 2 years, strangely, I feel as though I've known him just as long, as he's seamlessly fit into Maggie's life from day one. I had never seen Maggie so in love as I did when they started dating. Their connection was undeniable. They've traveled the globe together. They've raised a Doberman that acts more like a poodle. I've never seen them more in love, though, than I've seen this day. Maggie's more than a friend to me. She is my family. And her family has also treated me as one of their own since as long as I can remember. And now we are delighted to have Ben as part of our family. So I'd like you all to please join me in toasting Maggie and Ben by singing a traditional Polish song you might have heard earlier called 100 lat. This means 100 years, and we sing it at every celebration just to wish whatever couple or person 100 years of happiness. The words are very simple. It's 100 lat, 100 years. So repeat after me. 100 lat. So I'll have this table in the back start the song.